But hey, we're going to have some fun. Love that the community's here already. 40 plus people waiting even before we got started. Just thank you so much. You're amazing. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to go quickly through these. I now have a system to collect these review websites and YouTube channels. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Let's get through as much as we can. Here we go. Welcome to the income stream.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Who else gets that song stuck in their head? It totally gets stuck in my head every single time I play it, and then it's like 2 hours till I forget about it, and then it's, guess what, start over again. And we do this every single day. patflynn.com/theincomestream is where you want to go every single morning, and today, like we do every weekend, we're doing some website reviews. We're also going to do some YouTube channels review too, and in fact, if you'd like to get your potentially YouTube channel reviewed or your website reviewed, and by reviewed, I'm going to go over exactly what that means in just a minute, what I'm going to be looking for, all those sorts of things, but you can go here, patflynn.com/review. At Reef, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. You're always amazing. I also want to welcome Sachin in for the first time. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. Good morning to you from the United States. We got Scully in the house. What's up, Scully? We got Lewis. Hugs and high fives all around, says Kessia. I love that. What's up, Samson? 72 days in a row, man. I don't know how you do that. Liz, you're incredible. Although I am also here 72 days in a row. So thank you so much for encouraging me every single day to do this. What's up, Joyce? Great to see you as well. Good morning. Everyone says, OMG, Cornholio. Cornholio. We got At Reef with the super chat. I just want to say thank you as you recommended. I've changed my website, and since then, it's a good testimonial. My engagement has increased by more than 20%, y'all. Bro, well done, At Reef. So this stuff works. We've reviewed At Reef stuff before, both his YouTube channel and his website, and he's putting stuff into work. I mean, this stuff isn't that complicated. You just kind of have to know. And how else will you know unless somebody else teaches you? So this is why we're here. This is for free. The super chats, I do welcome them. They do come in and they do get donated. Right? Those are good donos that get sent over to somebody and other people who need it. Last month we donated over 6,000 meals. What? 6,000 meals to people in San Diego. This month we are donating to, and we're just at the end of the month here, to Project Cure to help those who are in the medical field right now. And just to speak about this really quick, I'm not going to mention anything specific, but times are pretty crazy right now. A lot of stuff's happening. A lot of people are feeling very hurt, very scared, very upset, very confused. Just want to say, like, look for the helpers. And for me, I'm always trying to do what I can to see, well, what does this make possible? It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to understand more. And hopefully by being here today, we can sort of maybe take our minds off of things for a while and focus on other things. And hopefully this will encourage you. So very thankful that you are here. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's do this. Oh, by the way, I see that some people are buffering, and it may be because I'm not plugged in via wired internet. So I'm going to pop up a screen, and I want you to read it. Thank you, Hey Archer, I appreciate it. And then I'll explain it as I run to my other computer, pop out the wired internet, pop it into here. We're gonna see how long it takes. Here we go. Okay, here we are. We're plugged in now. So this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for, y'all. We're looking for, specifically, does it tell me, so when I visit these websites or YouTube channels, does it tell me who's it for and what's in it for me? You got about 7 seconds to convince me. And this is just not me. This is just people on the internet, right? We need to make it very clear and very quickly. What's this about? Right, and this was At Reef. If you don't mind me using you as an example, for a while we didn't even know that you did tech review videos. Right, when you visited your website, it's like you had some really cool tagline, and it was At Reef, and unfortunately the name and the tagline didn't really describe what it is that you do. It was more why you're doing what you're doing. But you got to be clear: who is this for, and what do we do? Right, and so for you, tech review videos that are entertaining and different. Right, so I love that. And many of you who've been reviewed here on the channel before too, you kind of understand this, but I definitely want to go over this again for everybody here who's brand new. Sue, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. And another one came in from Francis. So grateful, Pat, for your teaching and positivity. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. And the people in the medical field over at Project Cure, or thanks to Project Cure, are going to be very thankful for those donations. I appreciate you for that. Let's keep going here. Number 2, are you helping me know what to do first? Right? This is a big problem when it comes to websites. It's just a big giant blob of stuff. And it's like, how are you help navigating a person through the website? Are you pointing out what the top call to action is? Are you directing people to where you want to go? You have to be a little bit like an usher on the website, not usher like, these are my confessions, not that kind of usher, but usher like, hi, may I help you? May I see you to your seat, please? Right? 7 o'clock at the top, and the clock, and in my drop top, cruising the streets. I got a real pretty little thing that's waiting for me. Man, this coffee, what did I put in this coffee this morning? Okay. And yes, I did my nails. Okay, let's keep going here. So next, how am I connecting to you versus others, right? So like, this is a couple things. Number 1, what's unique about you? What is different? Why should I stick around here versus going somewhere else? A lot of this has to do with how you pull your personality into your website. I'm not necessarily saying that you have to have your face show up. I'm not necessarily saying that you have to talk about what you ate for breakfast this morning or the things that you like, what your religion is or any of that stuff. All I'm saying is I need to feel a connection to the website in some way, shape, or form, okay? And then number 4, are there any non-essentials and distractions? Meaning like, are there pop-ups that are showing up at the first 2 seconds before I even get to know you? And I worry about that because when a pop-up shows up, I'm usually coming to your website because somebody told me to come to your website for a specific reason, or I found it on Google or a link to something that you're linking to, right? Like I'm on your social media. You say, hey, here's an article about 5 Facebook tips for ads in 2020. I go to your website, and as I'm beginning to read, like I haven't even started reading it, you're like, hey, welcome in. Can I give you something else that doesn't really relate to what it is that you came here for? I would much prefer that something like a pop-up, which is great and it can be used in great form, but it should be after I get to know you, or at least after a certain amount of time or a certain amount of time or positioning down the page, if that makes sense, all right? Martin says, Pat Flynn, reviews are so helpful. 7 Investing, thanks for what you do, Pat. Thank you, 7 Investing. I appreciate you for the super chat. I love what Martin said here. Reviews are so helpful. My site now has grown 300% in May. What? That's awesome. That's super cool. Okay. So, by the way, as a reminder, if you want to get your website reviewed or YouTube channel, we're gonna maybe flip flop and it kind of depends. I would prefer that you put the one that makes sense for you and pop that up there, patflynn.com/review, or you let me know in the channel when I select your name what it is you want me to review for you. But there's some good stuff coming in already. Thank you, 7 Investing. I appreciate you for that. Again, patflynn.com/review. Full disclosure, that will sign you up to my email list as well, but that way I can follow up with you and do some other things and help share more stuff with you. And then finally here, number 5, branding and design. Notice that this is number 5. This is last on the list. Oftentimes, this is where we start when it comes to the work and time and effort that we're putting into our websites, right? Because we want to get the logo done, we want to get the theme up, we want to get the colors right, and that's okay. But that's not going to make the difference between you and somebody else and why around and subscribe and the success of your business. I mean, it matters, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the messaging. The most important thing is the guidance and the usher, right? Confessions. And the other most important thing is just making sure that you are helping people along the way, right? There we go. All right. Let's get into it. So I have a list of people who have already signed in, if you will, or offered to have their stuff shown. Now, I do have to pick the first person who subscribed this morning, and I'm going to go to this page right now, and I want to thank Caitlin for her entry here, because we're going to go and review this right now. So here we are. This is Make It Blue. So writerforfun.wixsite.com/make it blue. Now, first of all, that's just a big mouthful, right? And Caitlin, thank you so much. I'm going to dive into this in just a minute, but just something to speak on a little bit about the domain name. The easier the domain name to remember and to point people to, the more likely it is that people are going to remember it. The more likely people are going to share it. The more likely people are going to come back. So I know you're using a Wix website, obviously. And there's also something to be said for having it just be a root domain name like makeitblue.com or writerforfun.com versus .wordpress.com, .squarespace.com, .wix.com. There's just a certain level of professionalism that comes with when it's domain only versus the service that it comes from as well. So no, you don't have to have that, but that's what I prefer to see because immediately, and I think people know this online, it almost seems like it's a site that's almost freely put together, and you can take it one step further and do yourself a big favor by having it just be the root domain itself. There are very, very successful websites that don't follow that rule, and that's okay. But I completely understand, and especially when you're just starting out, it could just be much easier to do it that way. Anyway, welcome to Make It Blue, a Disney adventure. Okay, cool. That's a setup great for like a story, or I still don't necessarily show. Let's check down here. Welcome to Make It Blue, a Disney adventure. You don't have to repeat yourself if you've already said something like that, especially something so big. Perhaps this blue part becomes something that speaks more to who the audience is and what they can expect here, because you also welcome them later, right? Welcome to my life story. Welcome to Make It. You say welcome 3 times in a row. We don't need to do that. A unique blog here for you to explore. Okay. I will be sharing life with autism, ADHD, and hearing loss. There we go. This is the part that should be focused on, because this is now, if I have or know somebody with autism or hearing loss or ADHD, now I'm connected to you. Now I understand, right? I don't know necessarily what Make It Blue means yet, and that's okay. But I need to know, without any fluff, who this is for, why this is here, right? I'll be posting about advocacy to the disabilities I live with every day, Disney or travel-related content, and Victory's challenge of everyday life. So I think that we can rephrase this in a way that might make a little bit more sense to a person and be a little bit shorter. And I'm going to attempt to do this on the fly here. It's not going to be perfect. It's never perfect. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some wordsmithing. It's going to take some brainstorming, right? So I would say something like a blog about living with autism, ADHD, and hearing loss. I'll be sharing my personal stories related to these to help those cope with and enjoy life with these disabilities, or something like that, right? I'm just trying to wordsmith it in a way where it's less, hey, welcome, this is a unique blog for you to explore, I promise. I'll be sharing my life with you. No, like, let's go into who this is for and what it's about right off the start, if that makes sense. But I love this idea, right? Because you have these personal experiences, and if you have these personal experiences and you're talking about your personal life related to this, how might you potentially show up? And I don't know if you are a little reluctant or scared or nervous about putting yourself up here in terms of a picture, but like that would say 1,000 words, right? Especially if there was a picture of you on the other side of all this, right? Happy and enjoying life, and maybe something related to Disney. Like, I love the Disney twist, and maybe even adding that with a Disney twist, right? Because I'm a big fan of Disney, and I love that too, because much like me and how people love and know that I love Back to the Future, it's like, okay, well, even if you're not necessarily a Back to the Future fan, it's something you know about me, and now we can become friends, right? Like, I know a lot of stuff about my friends, and I'm not necessarily wanting to dive into things that they are, but that's what part of what makes them them, and this is what part of makes you you. So I absolutely love that. Now let's keep scrolling here. I'm not quite sure what this image is for. It almost seems a little darker than I might want it to be. Versus, I mean, I think I kind of know what you're going for. Like, the blue, the ocean, the opportunities, the vast space, the freedom, perhaps. But there's like a rail here, and I don't know. It just doesn't really speak to what I think I know this is about. Love the way these blog posts are set up. These images are great. Makes me want to click on them. That's fantastic. So yeah, these are looking good. Let's go into a specific post here. It's Autism Awareness Month. So again, what I'm looking for here is now, how does that message that we shared up front connect with the blog post and how we're positioning this? Happy Autism Awareness Month. By the way, this is a big paragraph. When writing blog posts, we want to have paragraphs broken up into not more than 3 or 4 lines per paragraph. Like, honestly, we want to break things down. This is much easier on the eye. People then are much easier and more able to follow through, to scroll down further, all those sorts of things. So I would say even like a break right here after month. then I would love for all my readers to post about Autism Awareness Month and social media. Friday, okay. Okay, so this is more of a call to action type post. I still think some story could be very much involved in here, right? It's Autism Awareness Month. I've been living with autism my entire life, or I know, however you want to position your experience with it. Some of the biggest challenges I found is feeling like we're alone or we can't find other people, and this is why Autism Awareness Month is so important. Here's what I'd love for all of us to do, and I'm going to do it as well. And then steps, right? If you're sharing any call to action, steps are really important, because I see that you mentioned here, you can start by simply doing this, and then you can do that. I think it's really important that if you're mentioning something like a call to action to do or steps to follow, like neatly lay them out, right? In the formatting of the blog. Big subheader, step 1, do this, and a little bit of explanation. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. And that way a person can literally look at the page and go, okay, well, I see where I'm going now. And that could make sense too. Dole Whip Dad says, I'm a big supporter of Make It Blue, a Disney adventure, and consider her a friend. Love that Pat Flynn is giving her channel advice. Very cool. Thank you. And I love it. I love the logo, by the way, the like puzzle with the light bulb that speaks. That's a well-designed logo for sure. And again, I'm not sure if you are not wanting to show up, but I know that you're using this as your sort of avatar. Excuse me. Why did I click on that? You're using it as your avatar here on your comments. Not just here on YouTube, but here on the blog too. And again, connection to you is going to be really, really key. So hopefully that helps. Just wanted to give you some really high level advice there for you to get started. And I also know you have a YouTube channel as well. Let's go visit that just to give you some advice, because I want to help you out too at the same time. So hey, there you go. I see your face. Now, even just immediately, Caitlin, I'm already connected to you more than I was on your website, to be honest. Because on the website, it's hard to figure out who you are and what you're about and kind of who's on the other end. And here, I see it like, look at this, life with autism, ADHD, hearing loss, and my Disney adventures. That's a better tagline than what I saw on the website. So let's bring that over at the start. The big blue bold text at the top of your webpage, that's what it should be. That way it even connects here. I think your avatar is okay, although, again, I like seeing you here. I absolutely do. Let's see, on the channel, we can have a little bit more on the home page. Like you could even have a video that shows up that kind of describes more about what you do and what you're about and how you're here to help people. And you can have a lot more videos posted here, maybe different playlists. You can have them shown vertically, horizontally, just to build it out a little bit. I love that you have artwork, and it just told me exactly what you were about right up front. A lot of YouTube videos that we didn't review, or that we did review in the past, just weren't doing that. And then finally, I think your thumbnails could use some work in terms of, these just seem like parts of within the video. We can actually have them stand out a little bit more by having a specific moment in the video that you pull out as a screenshot, or something that you design or put in there, or even an image that sort of represents that particular video. And the titles can make some improvement too. I love that you have 88 subscribers. That's my favorite number. Anyway, great job, Caitlin. Well done. And hopefully that was helpful for you. Let's pick a few more. And again, these are all at random, by the way. I want to make sure that we understand that. And I love that we have this sort of way to collect these now, which is so much easier. And again, if you want to submit for review, patflynn.com/review. I'm reviewing them at random. I'm just kind of going up and down, and we'll go from there. So next we're going to review, and now I have everybody's name too. We're going to review Aman's website. So this is amansing.pro. I haven't seen a .pro before, which is really cool. And honestly, the domain extensions like .com, .co, .io, .so, like those things don't matter as much as they used to. .com is still the primary one that you want to try to get. However, it doesn't matter anymore as much. And amansing.pro, I love that .pro is also like, hey, I'm a pro at this. So let's get into this. Digital product manager and management consultant. So, okay, this is more like a business card on a web page, right? I help startups to build online businesses and tech agencies to grow through digital transformation and right business processes. Okay, so now we know who it is that you're targeting and what you do for them. I help startups to build businesses and tech agencies to grow through digital transformation and right business processes. Now that's very wordy, and I'm not sure, maybe I'm not in your target audience, but is that how a person who is in your target audience would respond? Is that how they identify themselves? This is very important, right? Sometimes we entrepreneurs, we have an idea of how we want to describe our audience, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, how does that audience describe themselves? Do describe themselves as people starting online businesses and tech agencies, or do you help tech agencies, right? There's a little bit of wordsmithing there, right? Like I help startups to build online businesses and tech agencies. Do you help startups build tech agencies, or do you help tech agencies build? Anyway, to help grow through digital transformation and right business processes. So is that how a startup would consider what they want, or the methods by which they would want their startup to grow, right? Digital transformation. If you went to a startup and you said, I want to help you digitally transform, or exactly what that means. So again, I just want to make sure we're clear on language and avatar and all those sorts of things. So great. Okay, let's keep going here. In 8+ years, so I love that really quickly there, and I do this as well. I just quickly put, and you don't have to go big into it, your credentials. By just saying that alone, I, in 8+ years, learned this. It's like, okay, well, I'm not just talking to some random person now. You are experienced in this space, and I think that works really, really well. It's not something that works all the time, but works really well. In 8 years, I've helped IT executives improve their bottom lines by getting rid of wasteful activities, improving communication and teamwork in their key business processes. See there, that was like a sing-songy there. There is where I'm like, ooh, okay, now me as being an online entrepreneur as well, I sort of understand the language a little bit, which is why digital transformation and right business processes, does that mean like right versus left, or like correct versus wrong? I'm not quite sure. Versus what you say here, I help startups improve their bottom line, get rid of wasteful activities, improve communication and teamwork to grow and succeed as a business, right? Like, boom, that speaks much more highly to me versus the more technical, professional way of doing it, right? So I love what you have down here better than I see up here. Now you're doing another good thing. Okay, get started. Like, okay, I'm excited about this. You draw me in, get started. That's fantastic. You have a call to action for that, which is really great. Let's scroll down a little bit more before I click on that. A little bit of explanation. This is the moment at which you can do that. That's good. Let's talk. You have a little bit of social proof here in terms of, screenshots on Twitter about how you sort of position yourself, which is okay. Maybe if they were the same size, or do they have to be screenshots of Twitter? I don't know if that's doing you a service or helping you or hurting you. Work with me, get started. Directly into your inbox every week. What am I getting directly into your inbox every week? We need to sell the call to action to subscribe. We don't know what this is for, and I don't necessarily know if I'm getting more tips, or am I subscribing to get an application process. I'm not quite sure. We need to be a little bit more full on there. And now you're talking a little bit more about who you are. I like that. That's down the page. Let's talk. More call to actions to go through the same thing. You have a book too. That's great. That's social proof. That's authority, even if nobody buys it. More proof. This is great. All the right elements are on here, by the way. All the right elements. This is an interesting picture, by the way, too. I don't know if this is doing you the best service. It's almost like what stands out to me in this picture is this blue barrier. I don't know. Like, I want to see a bigger picture of you. Are you down here? When you introduce yourself, this is where you should put a bigger picture of yourself. And yeah, it's like, I don't know. This kind of looks behind the scenes, which is pretty cool, but it's kind of has a sepia tone to it. It looks almost kind of an older picture. I'd love to see something that better displays you working with somebody in this way that you've helped them. Anyway, let's click on Get Started here and see what happens. Okay, cool. What are your analytics actually trying to tell you? Click the option below that best describes you. I want to start an online business. I have an online business, but want to grow. I'm running a tech agency. You need help. We want to hire you to work on site. Cool. I'm not quite sure what analytics are trying to tell me here, or if this is what you're trying to help me understand based on these answers. There's a little bit confused. I think we need to sell the click here a little bit more. Click on the option below that best describes you so that I can better help you and help your business grow depending on where you're at. Or I have information that helps people at all levels, but first you need to tell me what level you're at. Click on the button below so that I can help you further, right? These kinds of things. Like the analytics thing confused me a little bit. What if I'm just starting out? I don't have analytics. I don't even know what that means, really. Or if I'm running a tech agency, my tech agency has all kinds of different kind of analytics, but what does that have to do with clicking on any of these things, right? So we need to connect the conversation there, if that makes sense. Let's say that, for example, I have an online business, but I want to grow. Tell me more. Cool, onboarding. Okay. I wasn't sure if you're going to direct me to blog posts. I wasn't sure what you were going to do here, but this is an application process, which is really great. I would have this open on a new page, by the way, because it definitely takes me somewhere completely different. And you could keep people on your website and still have people do the thing. So I'd have people open on a new page. But this is how we're going to get people to hire you, right? If I click on hire me, does it still go here too? Okay, so literally we schedule a call. So we have to consider, and this is where I'll stop here with you, Aman. You're doing a lot of things right, which is good. However, when it comes to the call to action that you want people to do, which is to either fill out that form or schedule a call with you, right, which is really key, we need to let people know sort of what to expect and why and what the end result is going to be after filling out these forms, after clicking on the button below. And that's really important because I think that if a person's expecting like helping you get started, well, they go to a page now, they have to fill out an application, it looks like. That's a lot of friction, right? But you can lessen the impact of something like a form that's so scary and overwhelming by positioning it up front as something that is worth doing. What's on the other end of this? Like, are you going to follow up with me? Is this something I already have to pay for, or what? Or do I not have to pay for it yet? And there's no obligation, right? Like, go through my head as a user as I'm going through your call to actions here, and then help me be comfortable with it. All right, chat, let me know in the chat if you are getting some value out of this. What's so far the number one tip and piece of advice that you've picked up so far? Let me know, and we can go from there. So well done, Aman. I appreciate you. Let's get some more in here. All right, let's pick. All right. Let's pick the next one on the roulette wheel. Uh-oh, sign out. Didn't mean to sign out. Cool. By the way, make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. We do these website reviews every single weekend. Tomorrow we're going to be Sell Me Sunday, which is where I ask you to submit your sales page. I'll review the sales pages. I'm actually going to buy something from somebody, depending on how well those sales pages sell me on the thing. And I'm going to play general audience member, not like Pat if it's something I need or not need. It's just if I really enjoyed the sales page, I'm going to buy it. So make sure you come back tomorrow, patflynn.com/theincomestream tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Really excited to also chat about the SpaceX launch as well for a little bit, which is happening today around noon. I think 3:33 or something like that, p.m. Eastern time. Really stoked on that. But anyway, let's go in here and we're going to talk to... We're going to talk to Rich. Rich from Big Promotions, www.bigpromotions.net. Cool. So we're your source for quality branded swag and merch. Thank you so much for telling me exactly what this is about right away, right? And this seems a little bit more old school in the way that it's formatted in terms of the look and the size. By the way, the text is very small up here. Oftentimes, if you go to pages that help review your website more in an automated fashion based on you just pop in your URL and they tell you certain things, a big common issue that people have is their fonts are too small. And remember, where else are people looking at these things? I'd encourage all of you to see what the experience of your website is like on a mobile device. And I'm actually going to go there right now, bigpromotions.net. Like the name, like the branding. I like the sort of like image up here on the right-hand corner of just the guy. Like it almost feels like a 50s, almost like, I don't know, it just it feels very friendly, even though the site's quite busy. So here it is on a phone. And it's not bad. It still tells me what the site is about when I get there, which is good. It's mobile. It's mobile friendly. However, it's actually seemingly more friendly on a mobile device, interestingly enough, versus a website, because it's just so crowded. I mean, look at this. Like, where do I even start, right? So I see here's the latest from our YouTube channel. Great. Is that the first thing you want me to see? If it is, awesome. If not, if that has, like, what is the first thing you want me to do here? I'm just not quite sure. I'm a little overwhelmed, to be honest. Here's how we're dealing with all of this. Yes, we're open. Where do I begin, right? Where do I begin? Start here. It's almost like you go to a restaurant and you go to, Cheesecake Factory or BJ's restaurant. These are known for having giant menus, and people are spending like 20 minutes trying to figure out what to eat, right? But what helps is like chef's picks or top sellers. I do see you have a top sellers area on your website, which is really good. But oh my gosh, I can't see this. Rich, this is hurting my eyes. Like, I literally have to, and I have good eyes too. I'm literally, wow. We need to design for the bigger eyeballs. Not bigger eyeballs. We need to design so that we can see this. This is hurting my eyes. And even up here too, wow. Like, we want like 14 point font or bigger. I'm just like, wow. Okay, anyway, that aside, I'm going to see what I can do here. But again, I don't know necessarily where to start. Service-oriented marketing firm with heavy emphasis on the use of imprinted promotional products. Our philosophy is that quality gifts and merchandise imprinted with your logo or message will take your marketing dollar much, much farther than traditional print, broadcast, or internet advertising. I like that. I like that stance. I think that you can even be bigger with that. We believe printed merch gives you a higher ROI than traditional and digital marketing and advertising. Here is where I would recommend you start. Here are our top-selling products. Here are testimonials of people using our stuff, talking about exactly what you're saying there, what your belief is, right? Recent articles from the blog. I like that you have a blog in here, right? This is like merch-related stuff, but you have a lot of content, right? Like your YouTube channel here, which is really cool. I love how you have content. Like, that's huge. Big promotions, 3 subscribers. So not quite as many. Like, look at this, 4 views, like, which is fine. You got to start somewhere, but does that tell you that maybe not that many people are looking at this thing? So perhaps we don't want to start with that. Maybe we want to start with something like, here for the first time, click here for our most popular items. Not sure where to start? Click here to check out our catalog and browse around, right? So these are different ways that we can do that. Rafal, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Steady top of mind, okay. Yes, we're open. Okay, so let me just click on some of these things. Let's click on top sellers. Oh my gosh. Are these top sellers or are these just categories? So apron, bandana. Now I would say that, I know you have a lot of stuff here, right? A lot of apparel, a lot of things. However, one way to stand, like, you're not the only one doing this, right? How might you as a brand stand out and show a little bit more about this product and not just have it be a giant catalog on a website, right? One thing that's been really helpful for people is to have better photography about these products, right? Take an apron, for example, but then be in the kitchen while using it. That's going to provide context. It's going to be a little bit more relatable. It's going to be something more than just a catalog. It's going to be a little bit different. So I'm not going to go too much further in this because I think that a lot of work needs to be done. I love the idea of the product. I love what you believe in. I think that needs to come out a little bit more. But where do I start? I love that you tell me exactly what your website is about up front. And I think that a couple things could help you right off the bat. Removing that video, having it easier for me to get started. This video seems to be the first thing you want people to do, and it's obvious that people aren't doing it. So what might be the best thing to start with, right? Our most popular item in May. Boom, like right here, right? Just click to get merchandise. Why should I go through you versus others? Those sorts of things. Question here from Sarah, which is really great. I don't actually have a website yet. How important is it to have one? If I have an Etsy shop and Ravelry shop portfolio page. So it's not 100% necessary to have a website. It's helpful and handy because it's where you have control over an experience. It is where you can bring users in, even your customers, to get further information from you, to subscribe to your email list. You can let them know, for example, when new product comes out. It is a place for you to share a little bit more about yourself so people can connect with you more and have a place to even share so that people can share something that is not just a e-commerce site, but something about you that they might be more comfortable sharing with their friends. It's a place for you to be found on search engines. It's a place for you to control. What if Etsy one day, knock on wood, hopefully this never happens, but what if Etsy gets bought out or just something happens with Etsy and it goes away? Your business is done for. And that's very scary. And even though it's a side hustle, all that great work that you're putting into it, you'd have to start over. But if you have a website, at least it can capture potentially sales or at least build you an audience and an email list so that no matter what happens, you can take people elsewhere. It's also a great place to build super fans with people, right? It's like people only know so much about you through your Etsy and the products that you offer. However, I think it's important to understand that the more you can get people to know you and what you're about, especially if you are, for example, an Etsy user with like a very fine-tuned, specialized craft, people want to get to know you. and they're going to be more likely to buy your stuff and be fans of what you do, right? So yeah, this is Rob's comment that I was trying to get out of my mouth that I couldn't say very well, but Rob said it better. I like the cool 50s feel to it. Yeah, I would even go further into that. I would lean into that a little bit more. But great job, Rich. Great start. Doing a lot of things right, but I think we could take that a little bit further and understand, well, what can we do to make life easier for these people who visit this page? All right, let's keep going here. I'm enjoying the streamlined process now. Instead of just having you type something into the chat and it's not always found and I miss it sometimes, I'm just getting these right off the bat, which is great. So let's keep going here. We are going with, who is this, by the way? This is David. David in the house. Gamingmatters.net. I agree with that. I 100% agree. Gaming matters for sure. In fact, I just bought a new PC. I just connected my Oculus Quest to it. We're going to be doing some Rift games on the Quest through Oculus Link. I'm so excited about it. In fact, my son and I are thinking about starting a streaming channel on either Twitch or YouTube as we play games together. We play a lot of games together anyway. He's super entertaining. He's funny. He gets frustrated sometimes. I help father him through that. I think it'd be really interesting content, something a little bit different, and something for people to watch during this time. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Cool. And here's Cher sort of supporting what I just said. Love it. Thank you, Cher. Appreciate you. Okay, let's go to gamingmatters.net. The real impact of gaming. Not quite sure what that means. I know you know what that means, but people who come here are like the real impact of gaming in terms of how it might influence kids to not actually be violent, or the impact of gaming in terms of an industry, in terms of how many billions of dollars in esports and things that are, there, or is it I'm not necessarily sure what that means. I like it as a tagline, but I think there is room here for something maybe right below this that says, this is where we begin to understand the impact of gaming on the world. Data, stories, analysis on the gaming industry and how it might affect you personally or your business or your brand. Right now, we know who you're speaking to and why. Again, I don't know if that's necessarily what it is. I don't, and that's a problem, right? That's a problem. Although I'm now looking at this giant, great-looking image, Safe in Our World, the video games and mental health charity. Cool. Epic Games, Valve, love it. Yep, I know all these things. However, we need to be a little bit more forthcoming, straightforward with what this is about and who is it for. Why do I need to be here? Why does this matter? Right? Gamingmatters.net. Love the domain name. I love the logo, by the way. I don't know where you got that design. I love that a lot. At Reef says, amazing info. Thank you. Newsletter. Not doing any service there. I think that we need to give people a reason why to subscribe to a newsletter. By the way, when you just say newsletter, all you're basically saying is, hey, subscribe here because I'm going to send you more emails. People don't wake up and say, I want more emails. They want the thing that is within the emails, or that's on the other side of the emails, or the transformation that comes after you subscribe, or having access to the content that gets shared in the email. So we need to sell that, right? What's in the newsletter? If you don't describe it, get rid of it. It's not going to be working for you anyway. I promise you, probably nobody's subscribing to that unless you've connected with them elsewhere and told them to do so. So I would very much rather you either, maybe it's an industry report, that would be really interesting, right? And that also shows authority. That's another cool thing that a lot of businesses do. In fact, Michael Stelzner from socialmediaexaminer.com, he positions himself as an expert in the social media space, not just by creating great content on the blog, but by creating an industry report, a social media industry report with, hundreds, thousands of entries into a survey that then he collects and collates and puts out there. If you're creating an industry report, you must know something about the industry. That immediately paints a picture, even if you don't read that report, of you being an expert in that topic, right? This is much like how the previous 2 people ago, somebody had shared like a book, right? Aman, he shared a book. Now I'm like, oh, you must be an expert on this, right? This is another reason why to write a book. Even if nobody reads it, it positions yourself as an expert. Thank you, Clayton. Appreciate it. I did comb it this morning. Anyway, let's keep going here. Share your story. Use the contact page. Tell us how gaming has impacted your life. Wow. Okay. This is cool. Gamingmatters.net. The real life impact of non-real life community. Or, I don't know. I'm just trying to create something a little bit more fancy there. But I know, for example, my cousin met his wife playing a game, Skylander, I think it was. I know a lot of people have connected on World of Warcraft and become friends for life. I know a lot of people who Fortnite has saved their life because it's kept them, strong and connected with people outside of school when they get bullied when they get there, right? These are the kinds of stories that need to show up, right? So I would prefer to see, if that's in fact the kind of thing that you're looking for, an array of posts, tile-like fashion here on the page that say these incredible headlines. Fortnite saved child from bullying at school. Now I want to know more about that story. Jim and Sandy met online. Now they're married. Here's how it happened. Or met in Halo. Here's how it happened. These are really interesting stories now, right? Like these are real impact things. Like, so I want to see headlines like that, right? I see a headline here that says Safe in Our World launches. Okay, well that's about a thing that you're doing, which is cool. Makes your communities well worth being a part of. Okay. Will Epic Games replace Valve software? What does that have to do with the more, because I see the heart, right? I'm like, ooh, these are like heartfelt, incredible stories. Is it that? I'm not necessarily sure. Brought us together and impacted our lives. So here we go. In your first blog post here, this is the first time I'm getting a sense of what this is about. That needs to come out. And I know you're just starting out. I mean, this was your first post in May 2011. So you're just starting out, David. So if you're hearing all this, don't feel like you're doing it wrong. You're doing it right because you got started. Now we can start to hone in on the voice and the messaging. And again, you might not have these stories yet that like we're talking about. Go and find them. Go collect them. Go, even if they're not stories from your own personal life or anybody you know, they're on the internet. Find them, talk about them, put a spin on them, and become the expert curator in this space. This is very newsworthy stuff, David. This is stuff that is worth talking about. You could become the expert in having connections being created online through video games. I think that would be super, super cool. Heartwarming stories about connections in the video gaming industry. Wow, that'd be incredible. By the way, @Reef, thank you so much for the super chat. After I got injured in Iraq during my deployment, gaming saved me from completely losing my mint. So hey, connect with @Reef here, and he can give you a story about how he was a veteran and then video games saved him. These are share-worthy stories, y'all. Love that. Anyway, hopefully that helps, David. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. By the way, I love seeing y'all take action. Keep up the great work, and hopefully for those of you watching on the sidelines, and whether you're commenting or not on these things, you're getting some value out of here. You're seeing how your positioning on your website and your pages matter too, right? So seeing it in real time hopefully is being really helpful. Epic Games, y'all. They are good. Fortnite, man. They're a little behind on Chapter 3, Season 2, Chapter 3, though. A little bit disappointed, but that's okay. Hopefully it'll be a big payoff. Thank you to all the new subscribers today. We have collected several new people who are looking to get their websites reviewed. And again, I cannot go to everybody, but we are just going at random here as I see these come in. And here we go. Next person up in line. We got 15 minutes to go. We got Bert in the house. What's up, Bert? Look at that. You and the Terminator there. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, previous governor. Anyway, Bert Bota, TWA NetJets captain, mentor, author, and all-around good guy, has had his fair share of adventures in the sky, from flying the rich and famous to shutting people and cargo to shuttling to untouched. Bert has pretty much seen it all. Now retired, Bert continues pursuit of all things aviation in his next endeavor, The Art of Aviation, featuring his everyday heroes of flight. Bert now invites you to strap in and join him on his journey. So take a look around and see what you can stay in, connected with fellow aviators and enthusiasts. So this is the first time I'm like, okay, who is this for? Stay connected with fellow aviators and enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe. So this is, number one, written in third person, which I think is really interesting. If I go to the About page, I'm curious, is it now first person? Okay, no, it's also third person. Now, I prefer first person. It doesn't have to be first person. Third person works too. However, a person coming here, you need to understand, are you trying to connect with them, or is this more just a business card display area? And what is your goal? If your goal is to make connections with people, speaking in the third person is going to be a lot more difficult because you're not speaking directly to them. You're not speaking directly to them. Some other person is speaking. The website is speaking to them, but not you, right? I think stories like this, Bert, would much better be connected to and be more remembered if it was actually in first person, to be honest. Like, hey, my name's Bert. I've flown people like, I don't know, Steven Tyler and, Britney Spears and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And here on my website, I'd love to share with you these stories in aviation, the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, and all the things in between, to connect with other fellow aviators like you. If you're an aviator, enjoy good stories, click to subscribe, join the email list. You see what I did there? Like, I painted a little bit of a different kind of picture. I don't necessarily know if that fits in alignment, but I'm just saying, like, that now speaks to me. If I'm an aviator, which is who you're targeting, it seems, I'm like, wow, I'm in. Like, that's amazing. And I love that you have this image here as well with Arnold Schwarzenegger that provides proof. However, I think that we could pull text above that, share the image sort of on the right or left-hand side, sort of wrapped around the text, or the text wrapped around it, to bring things up a little bit further. And I think a headline will work really well, right? You have 7 seconds, Bert, to let people know what this website's about. So it might say something like what I just said. Hi, I'm Bert. I have flown celebrities, and a lot of crazy things have happened, and I'm here to share them with you. I don't know if that's necessarily the main driver, but I'm just like, that's like pulling me in, right? This is a headline on a title of a blog, on a blog post or a website. This is the subject line of an email. What's going to get a person to click through? We need to work a little bit more on that. Art of Aviation. This is a podcast. This is a website. This is an effort to keep aviators and aviation enthusiasts united. Bert and Nathan join forces to create the Art of Aviation, a new way of staying connected and celebrating our passion for everything in flight. Okay, I like that. A little bit of proof about who you are and who Nathan is. Why the Art of Aviation? Okay, what is it though? What is it? What is it? Is it a magazine? Is it an email list? Is it just the website itself? Is it a book that's coming out? Again, let's be like 100% clear for what's on here, right? Like, literally, the Art of Aviation is an online community that we've put together to help aviators connect with each other. Or the Art of Aviation is a book that we are writing to help support you in the aviation space and tell interesting stories. Like, I don't know what this is yet. A new way of staying connected and celebrating our passion for everything in flight. Okay, so if you're having a conversation with somebody and you say, hey, we got a new way to help stay connected. Cool, well, like, tell me about it. Well, here's why it exists. Connection, celebration, transition. Cool, like, okay, but what is it? Like, what does this feel like? Like, what do I do? Well, here's how you join. Okay, but what is it? I'm not necessarily sure what it is. Okay, it's free and delivered to your monthly inbox. So is this the newsletter? In which case, maybe you don't call it a newsletter, you call it something, an aviation connection digest, right? A weekly newsletter that we send to you full of stories from the aviation community to help us stay connected. You see what I'm doing here? Like, now I understand tangibly what this is, and we need to be very, very clear about that. Books about Bert, blog, cool. Everyday Heroes, a podcast for extraordinary men, the legacy process, how to prevent a heart attack. Wow. Okay, blog is okay. Looks like you're not super consistent on it, which is okay. Maybe the podcast is the thing yet. Talk with Everyday Heroes, love that. Hopefully, okay, so subscribe. Where do I go to subscribe? Okay, if I want to subscribe to your podcast, how am I going to do that, right? I want to see Spotify, I want to see Stitcher, I want to see Google Podcasts, I want to see Apple here, all in one spot. Click on the one that makes sense for you, and that way I can dive in. You're losing the opportunity. This is great artwork, by the way. That's pretty cool. Okay, great start, Bert. I like what I'm seeing here. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. And yeah, good stuff. Cool, let's try to get a couple more in before we finish up today. Keep exiting where I can find y'all. By the way, as I'm getting back into my database here, what are y'all doing this weekend? I'm definitely watching the SpaceX launch today. I'm super excited about that. And we're going to... Rob says, what is it? I'm letting that haunt me right now to get my setup. Yeah, what is it? What is it, right? Power Up Podcasting, an online course built to help you launch a podcast and market it, to get found, to have listeners on day one so you can increase your impact and influence online. Just, that's what it is. We need to be much more clear about the things that we are offering, right? But good stuff, Bert. Thank you so much for submitting. That's awesome. All right, let's do a couple more here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. So we have now a rentpad.com.ph. This is in the Philippines, and I think that's PH. And this is a Airbnb type thing, right? Find your next home that suits you. Easy to use, convenient, all in one place. Okay, so it's actually more like a Zillow or a Redfin. And so one thing that's really clear is that this is probably not the first website ever to do something like this, right? So we need to really, really help people understand what is unique about this more than others. And whose website is this? Once again, let me see who this is. This is Chuck's. Thanks, Chuck's. So find your next home that suits you. Easy to use, convenient, all in one place. Now, finding a home is a huge ordeal, right? And there's a lot of friction for sure. Thank you, Hey Archer. I see your note there. So we need to help people understand how this is different. Is this the thing that's going to, and you said it a little bit, like easy to use, convenient, all in one place. Great. How can we better define that? Because that's what everybody else is saying too. If it is indeed easy to use and convenient, you can maybe frame that in the way that's more tangible, right? Like your next home might be 5 clicks away. Whoa, now I'm like, it only takes 5 clicks, because that's something that I can understand. It's almost like if you're selling a membership website, right? And it's, if it's like, $12 a month to get in. That's like, okay, that makes sense. But compared to something that people are used to doing or understanding, that's 1 cup of coffee at Starbucks a month for the price of this membership that's going to help you get X, Y, and Z, right? So for this, find your next home that suits you. Easy to use, convenient. Your next home may be just 5 clicks away, right? Something like that. And I don't know if that's necessarily 5 clicks. Or are these rentals? Are these, I don't know. These are rentals for sure. Within different parts of the Philippines. Yep, Philippines, Cebu, which is where my mom is from, in fact. Cool, these are great. I like the images in here. It might be cool if there was a way for, how on like YouTube, you see like when you are on your homepage, at least on the desktop. I think this happens on mobile too, but you get like a little preview, it like scrolls through some of the images. So I don't know if like, let's say for example, this has multiple images. It does. It would be kind of cool to like see that preview of those images. That would be a unique experience that I don't think any of these other sites are doing too, where I like hover over this and it shows like a preview. I don't have to click in, but I see these images come through, because what's the number one thing people do when they go and look for a place? They look at the photos, right? So now I can just kind of scroll through and easily find these ones that might be interesting to me anyway. Not necessarily, just maybe a little bit of a thing that might be different. Let's go to one of these spaces really quick. Fully furnished studio at Selenia for rent. So you have the amount of rent. So 23,000 pesos. Conveniently suited, ready for, cool. Okay, so this is pretty standard, right? This is pretty standard. Send inquiry. I don't know. This is very, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's just generic right now. It's generic. It's doing the job. You're making it easy, and that's great. But I want to lean into, well, what makes RentPad different, right? And that's going to be really, really important. I would also say that I'm lacking social proof here. Tell me how other people have used this, right? If it is 5 clicks and it's all about convenience and ease, which it seems like it is, then I need to see testimonials that support that, right? I found my next apartment in literally a day, and I moved in within a week, right? If that's your play, like let's focus on that. All things point to that, if that makes sense. Cool. I'm Davis says, LOL, Pat's copywriting skills are so good. I'm getting better. I'm not great at it, but I'm learning over time. Things are working and things aren't working, and I'm paying attention to more of what is. And great questions from the chat, so hopefully that helps. Okay, let's go into another one here, since we have about 5 minutes left. Wow, just this goes by so quickly, y'all. Goes by so quickly. And it looks like we're just doing websites today. We might do a time this coming week for YouTube channel reviews specifically. I see a few people here who have asked for that, which is great. All right, let's go to this one. And this is Elton. Elton, good stuff. It's interesting. Just this is the first thing that popped up in my mind. Learn how to be better via our digital marketing course. That's the name of the page, which isn't going to help you for search engine optimization, right? So I would have this. So I don't know if you could see this on the screen, but when I hover over the tab, it says learn how to be better via our digital marketing course. I don't know if that's like trying to be subliminal. I don't know if that's like something like a hidden message that you're trying to do. That's all, folks. But the title of your page should be the title, like your homepage should be the title of your page, like Elton Qua Consulting, and maybe a little bit of a tagline on helping you learn how to be better or learn to be better. But learn to be better about what, right? Build a better business or whatever keywords you might want to potentially try and rank for. Anyway, that just sort of caught my attention. How can business owner achieve higher revenue via efficient B2B market research and lead generation methods? Okay, so how can business owners achieve higher revenue via efficient B2B market research and lead generation methods? Yeah, it's an interesting question, and I understand what you're trying to do there. However, what can you say to not like what can you say to me? So I'm a business owner myself, right? And this is like, okay, like that's an interesting question, but what's in this for me? Right? Subscribe to our newsletter to get regular updates and industry reports of successful B2B strategy. Okay. So B2B is your niche, hopefully, it looks like. And perhaps you do high-end, high-level research and you understand strategies that are specific to B2B that can help B2B business owners achieve higher revenue. That's exactly what you want to help people do, right? So instead of just asking like, hey, how can we do this and how can we make it happen? It's like, here's what we can do for you here. Here's what we do. So, hi, I'm Elton. I specialize in high-level B2B marketing and research to help you achieve higher revenue. Subscribe below to get access or to get instant access to one of our industry reports that reveals the top 5 strategies B2B owners are using to grow their business. Boom. Now I'm like, I want that now. I actually do want that because I've been interested in B2B for certain things. And also this piece of lint that's hanging from my hat. By the way, Switch Pods are almost sold out. Like, what? How crazy is that? Switchpod.co. Thank you. Anyway, we need to speak to the person who's here, right? Instead of asking questions that sort of surround that, right? We're kind of beating around the bush a little bit, Elton, but I like that I kind of was able to figure out. So you're very, very close. And again, I think that offering to subscribe to a newsletter, I think that if you had an industry report already available, that would help you get a lot more subscribers much more quickly. Let's click on this video.
Hi, my name is Elton Qua, and I'm founder of eltonquaconsulting.com. So this is both is actually the website address, ELTONKUAH consulting.com. And what I do for my customers, especially small and medium business owners, is I help them with the market research as well as a digital insight strategy where the execution and the business model strategy planning actually comes from my end, and in relation to my experience in LinkedIn Marketing Lab as well as Google SMA Leadership, where
Dude, you're well qualified to talk about this stuff. Number one, people on this website will see this. It's the first thing you want me to do. That's what I'm seeing. And you're talking about the URL and how to spell it. You don't need to do that. So perhaps there's a different video. Maybe this is just for YouTube specifically. You'd have a different video unlisted embedded here that's specifically for people who you know are on the website, right? So that's number one. Number two, I love how you mentioned what your specialties are, and that's great. And this is in a video where I go and make sure you subscribe over here or over here, wherever, to get access to our first industry report. You said things better in the video than you did on your website in terms of what it is you do and how you help, right? And your specialty, you mentioned LinkedIn and other things that are not mentioned here at all. Our list of services, cool. Why choose us? Now, is it us or you? Because Elton is you. And is there a team perhaps helping you? If so, then, introduce the team members. I love that you have customer testimonials, founder story, great. You include that there too. Get access to get the B2B case study on the regular updates. I think also describing a little bit of the challenges that B2B has can help you better connect to the people here. This is the one thing that's missing. It's like, okay, well, me as a B2B I'm struggling to find digital strategies to help me. And if you can nail the same language that I use to describe my issues, like, getting access to the decision makers at other businesses, we can help you do that. All these kinds of things really tie into the why behind all this. And I can think that can do you so much more. And again, in terms of getting people to subscribe, it's just really interesting that you want people to subscribe, but you're also asking them for a message. That might deter people because it's like, okay, I don't even know what to write there. I just want to get the thing, or I want to get access to the thing, right? So again, we need to sell more into what it is that people are going to get. I would have already a pre-packaged industry report that people can get access to, maybe your high-level stuff, and hopefully it can help those understand on the other end. I like that you have your certification here too, which is pretty cool. I like that. That is something that I believe, that supports you. It's weird that it's right here and it's just sort of in the middle versus, that's not bad. And then if I want to work with you, how do I work with you? Contact us, maybe? No, that's just, okay. Let's say I want to work with you to do digital marketing training. Okay, video 1, video 2, video 3. So this is very high level here. This is like download the speaker sheet, trainer profile, download our 2-day course outline here, reach me below. I mean, this is stuff that could be offered in exchange for an email. You have some videos here, which is, this is very valuable. I like how this is set up. View video snippets of digital marketing lessons shared by myself and tips from others. So again, this is likely free training to get people interested in getting personal training from you, right? Or consulting. So if they then want to work with you now, how are they going to work with you? Are you expecting that this is where they would go? Or hopefully maybe they download something and you follow up with email. Hey, if you're interested in working with us, like follow up, let me know. But it should be there should be a no-brainer way, if I want to work with you, to go and click a button to go work with me, right? Data analytics, you don't have that there and I can't work with you. Maybe something coming soon, I don't know. What about this one? Subscribe for your details for market research updates. And again, we don't need the message there if you're just having people subscribe, unless you are specifically giving them something. Yeah, you have a lot of good pieces, but there's a lot of pieces that are missing that are probably deterring people from working with you. And again, just what is this about? Who's it for? Speak my language. And then how are you directing me to what you want to happen? I don't see an easy way to get there. I think lead generation is free videos. Contact us. Yeah. So instead of contact us, work with me. And then some information here that says, fill in the form below with a message about your business so that we can determine if it's going to be a good fit. I'll follow up with you within 48 hours or something like that. Even just that alone. And again, I'd have an image and maybe some testimonials here as well, just to kind of help people further along and follow through. But that alone would help too. So now I get the problem of user journey. Thank you, Elton. Cool. The reviews are really helpful for me. I'm grateful that you're saying that. Focus on one thing, bro. Digital marketing, data analytics, 2 very different fields. That's a good piece of advice too. If you want to be known for one thing, what would it be? Start there. Make that the big thing. Maybe the data analytics is the secondary part of it, right? Maybe that's the upsell, or maybe that's the back end. If people aren't interested in that, they get access to this thing, right? Or if for your existing customers, it's a second service that you offer too. Cool. All right, everybody. We are already an hour through this. What? Just bruh. Anyway, thank you so much. And again, if you want to come back tomorrow, that'd be great. patflynn.com/theincomestream. We're going to be reviewing sales pages specifically. And I'm going to be going over some specific strategies on how to better convince a person to essentially pay you for your services, your offerings, whatever it is your product is. And we're going to go through, sorry, I just got literally something in my eye as I was saying that. Anyway. A lot of good stuff happening today. Hope you can come back tomorrow. We're going to review some sales pages, and I'm going to buy something from somebody who I feel has a really good sales page, whether I need that product or not. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you come back tomorrow. You're going to have to sell me, and we're going to have some fun. So patflynn.com/theincomestream. And if you want to potentially plug in your sales page to get reviewed, you can do that tomorrow, but you can also do that right now. patflynn.com/review. And that also subscribes you to my list so you can get further information and updates. And, we're going to do more giveaways and things like that too. So make sure you subscribe there. And Team Flynn, you're amazing. Thank you for today. I appreciate you. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the SpaceX launch. Let's pray everything goes well, and just pray everybody remains safe out there. It's a crazy time right now, but hopefully this helps distract you a little bit, and hopefully helps you further in your business, no matter what it is you're doing. So thank you to everybody whose websites were reviewed today. Hope that was helpful for you and for everybody else. Thank you to the super chats that came as well. Good stuff. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Peace out.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Thanks for all the nice comments, everybody, with how much value you got today. Francis, amazing content today. Thank you. Thanks also, says Xavier. Hey, Pat supports. Thanks, Lewis. Hit that like. Yeah, before you go, hit the thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm. Thank you so much. Hashtag bruh. See you all. Janelle to finish up. Thanks, Pat. This has been great. Everyone has submitted great pages to learn from. I agree. Thank you, everybody. Take care and enjoy the weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.